Let me pull back the curtain a little bit, all right? So I didn't like that call. I didn't like it in real time, and then we went back to it, and kudos to my producer, Bo Garrett. And and honest to God, I have no idea where Dean Blandino, just like Gene Steratore or Mike Pereira, they come in. And I'm glad that there was a timeout so we could bring him in, because that was that meaningful a play in that game and in that drive, and that decision that referee White Hat has to make. And I don't know what way Dean's going with it. Like, so we go to Dean Blandino out in L.A., and we have no preface. There's no, like, okay, he's going to take and I listen to him, and I'm thankful that he also was like, can't do it. Just can't make that call.
No.
Not with as physical as this game has been. Cam Ward took some shots. I mean, they let him play a little bit, and then, he just didn't drive him into the ground. Ron said he just kind of let up on him. Just let this game play out.
You can't make that call in that spot.
Let this game play out. I don't know, Jason. I think my voice even.
We got to see this.
Well, I certainly did that as well on the 4th and 1 call.
Yeah,
you know what it comes down to, though, Salk, and I say this to you all the time, and I say it in my broadcast, and it's the one truism that I very much believe that the best coaches do, the best managers do, the best basketball coaches do, heck, the best producers on radio and television do. Go back to who and what you trust the most. And even though that Husky defense has been pretty good, and in the fourth quarter of games, Salk, and this will be big as we lead into Friday, in the fourth quarter of games, in the previous 6 games, they had given up a total of 17 points. Less than a field goal a game, and that's all it should have been in this one. If the kid doesn't try to jump over and pull a Cam Chancellor, and I have no idea why he's thinking that's legal in that moment, he just lost his mind.
Dude, that was like yikes.
Yikes. They would have given up just 3 points. And you know what? If that were the case and it was 17-13, does DeBoer punt it there? Probably. He probably does. But it's 17-17. They take a timeout. And this is why the guy is 118 in a row. This is why the guy is 31-1 in the month of November. This is why the guy has accomplished what he has every stop he has been, because he's able in that moment to not be hormonal. He cuts himself. He has a conversation upstairs, and we're going to go back to what we trust.
Do you think that that was his plan all along?
The most?
Was that his plan all along?
He needed, I'm sure, that couple minutes to think about it, right? I am sure.
He obviously went out, he got into punt formation, but with the plan of trying to get them to jump, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that 100%. Was why they did that. 100%. That was always that plan. Then he was going to call timeout.
Correct. And then give me and my staff enough time to through what we really want to do. Do we really want to punt it? Them with the ball with less than 2 minutes to go and all their timeouts and just needing a field goal? Or do we want to, in this moment, even though we have one timeout, this goes back to one of you.
Say, hey, the identity of both of these teams is their offense. Whose offense do I want on the field? Theirs or mine?
Yep.
I mean, like, that makes a lot of sense.
But this goes back to what you like to say, too, and one of the challenges that we have with Pete at times. But Pete, okay, I get all of that. You trust him. Wrong? But what about the downside? I don't even think about the downside.
He knew I don't get that sense from Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, he knew the downside.
He knew the downside.
He weighed it all.
And I think what he assumed was the downside is so great that no one's going to assume that this is actually going to happen.
Correct.
And he got it done. And then afterwards, he gave a lot of credit to the people around him.
Hats off to the coaching staff, offensive staff for putting this play in, having it ready to go for moments like that, for red zone. Short yardage moments, and there's some moving pieces to that too, and you got to trust your players to read things right, have great timing, execute, and between Michael and really everyone, and of course Rome, just simple things like even catching the ball. I mean, doing that, and then what worst case scenario is he was going to be one-on-one with someone for a yard. So just proud of the way the guys executed, turned into explosive play, and gave us a lot of momentum.
Salk, I could line up the 8th grade boys. Guess what? We could get in the shotgun and run a bunch of stuff the Huskies run. If I tried to implement that play and say, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to get in this formation. We're going to fake this. You're going to Titus. You're going to reverse out, and then you're going to flip it to the receiver who is coming full speed in this moment. Like all of the moving parts of that play that have to be
have some coordination, right?
Yes. And you also, and this is where the genius is, and I put the Seahawks on blast during the Oregon game. It was such a blowout, maybe nobody heard it. But I was like, this Oregon coordinator sequenced calls. The great coordinators put plays together. They put them together. They show you one look like Kyle Shanahan, and then off of that same look, here comes a play, and Sean McVay. And these guys know how to sequence. The Seahawks, they're just running a pack of plays. Well, let's call this one. It's called there's no rhythm. There's no sequencing. There's no putting that defense in conflict. Guess what the Huskies also did twice in that game, unsuccessfully. Tried to run a little zone play inside.
Didn't
Got
work.
blown up.
Yeah.
Got blown up. And I'm sure they're thinking on the defensive side, well, they assuredly are the big bad Huskies with this huge offensive line. They think we can't stop them for a third time on this play. So let's give them that action. Everybody commits to it. They all sell out.
Which they had to do. Yeah.
Which you have to do. And then we put our best player out there, Roma Dunze. And worst case, as Kalen said, it's a one-on-one. You trust him in a one-on-one, or do you trust your defense and Cam Ward on the other side with the ball? I'm going to trust him and come down and makes that decision. Now, the other side of it, Salk, if it didn't work,
You're toast.
I mean,
But if you're going to put your season on the line,
put it in the hands of the people you trust the most.
Yeah. On the other hand, I don't know. You'd probably punt the ball. I would have punted it.
Could you have made that call?
I don't think so. No, I think I would have punted it and trusted, Washington State to coug it. I would have just assumed that if I punted it, they'd drop the punt or something like that. That's just sort of how the world goes.
Do you know what you just did?
What? Pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, there were people listening right there. And then now there's Coug Dad driving his kid to school.
I know he's mad at me right now.
He's so mad at you.
But it's true. They knew they were thinking the same thing. I don't say that with malice. I say it with love. You know who I like is that little running back from Washington State.
Not so little, Nakia Watson.
Yeah, he got a little power to him.
Oh, he's got a little. Yeah.
Dude, he knocked some dude over in that game. You know how much I like that.
I know you do.
Yeah, that's
you like Cam Ward?
It's okay.
He's intriguing, right?
It's okay.
And by the way, the next 7
Does some
days,
things.
and I saw our buddy Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl tweet this because he knows the next 6-7 days and the amount of free agent dollars thrown around right now in college football with the portal opening next Monday.
Yeah.
Like you think the coaching changes and all this stuff's interesting? Wait till you see where,
Everybody ends up going.
Let's just say I heard from one source and a pretty dialed in one that Cam Ward, right? And this is what just drives these guys crazy. Okay, have the portal open on Monday. Let's make this all a fair game. Oh, no. All the agents and the runners and the money guys are already out there. Cam Ward has 10 seven-figure deals waiting for him. He has 10 different deals from around the country that will pay him 7 figures to come be their quarterback.
That is
How ludicrous is college football right now?